Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day. Heidi, do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Friday. It's the 10th day of January. It's National Bittersweet Chocolate Day. Have you ever had bittersweet chocolate?
I have.
Is that the stuff like baking chocolate?
Yeah, you use it for baking.
And I remember one time taking a bite of that thinking, oh, hey, look at this big candy bar.
That's not what it is.
Not so good. There's actually a video of a young boy that wanted to try some, and his mother recorded him eating it.
Yeah, I
and
saw
he
that.
didn't
It's
like it.
adorable.
I did the same thing when I was a kid. We just didn't have phones back then that recorded our every move. National Cut Your Energy Costs Day today, so if you could do that, that'd be awesome. Also, National Oysters Rockefeller Day. Never had that. Have you ever had that?
No.
Sounds very hoity-toity to me. And it's National Save the Eagles Day. So save an eagle today. You'll feel good about it. So will the eagle. Also, it could be a Movie Star Monday, but since it's a Friday, I don't know what we call it. Just a Movie Star Friday. We have Will Vought joining us from Season 3 of The Marvelous Ms. Maisel. It's been on Amazon Prime now for 3 seasons. Season 3 came out in December, and we finally had a chance to connect with Will coming up in just a bit. It's on the way. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
Student loan debt is out of control for many people. Are you one of them? The average graduate walks away with anywhere from $25,000 to $40,000 in student loans. Believe it or not, 2% even manage to owe over $100,000 by the time they graduate. If you have several different student loans, let us consolidate them into one loan and one payment at singlestudentloan.com. If you have only one student loan, we may be able to offer you a better rate to help you get that loan paid off sooner at singlestudentloan.com. That's singlestudentloan.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. A new survey found that 4 in 10 adults cannot stop working no matter where they are.
That is you, for sure.
Why are you pointing at me? You know what? I get bored very easily. If I don't stay occupied working, then I'll end up doing something dumb. I don't know what it would be, but I don't know. I always just keep busy working, so... So 4 in 10 adults. I am not alone. Where's the other 3 of you? You want to hang out? Let's go work. We can do like a work lunch. Surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
When was the last time you got a new credit card? If you have a card that's been in your purse or wallet for a long time, you should check and see if you're getting the best rates. You may find a better credit card that will give you the points you want or cashback options you don't get right now. At BetterCreditCards.com, you see all the major credit card companies and their best offers. Let them compete to earn your business. And if the one you have right now is better, keep it. Find a card that's a better fit for you at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com.
This is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by TimeForRehab.com. A tipsy Florida motorist whose blood alcohol content was measured at nearly 3 times the legal limit was admitted to consuming whiskey shots prior to driving, but assured the police, it's okay, I'm a professional drinker. Yeah, that's not how it works.
Yeah, that's not how it works at all.
54-year-old George Emanuel was arrested after they spotted his vehicle speeding in a 35-mile-per-hour zone. He was wobbly, had watery and glassy eyes, performed poorly on a side-of-the-road field sobriety test. Also measured his blood alcohol content at .218.
Yikes.
And .211. It says here .08 is the legal limit.
Yeah, that's insane.
After being read his rights, he admitted to consuming, I had 1 or 2 shots of whiskey, but it's okay. I'm a professional drinker. No, it's not okay. He is now under arrest and has a DUI, so that's not good. It's what happens when your brain is on drugs. You can read this story at TimeForRehab.com.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Parasite was named the best movie of the year by the National Society of Film Critics. I have no idea what that is.
I don't.
Have you ever even heard of that?
I don't think so.
Have we ever talked about this before? Because I'm having deja vu right now.
No.
Okay.
We'll have to look it up.
I don't know. And Harvey Weinstein is being mocked in Hollywood for using a walker to appear in court. They say he's doing that to make himself appear more sympathetic.
Probably. I could see that.
He's trying to appear more sympathetic, but you take the simpa off, and that's what he's appearing.
Yeah.
Pathetic.
Yep.
See what I did there?
I see what you did
When
there.
you have to explain it, it's not funny.
That was pretty impressive.
No, it's not. This has been Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday.
It's a new year, Have you made a resolution to quit drinking or to finally get away from drugs for good? These are both habits that are hard to kick, but you can do it. We want to help you. TimeForRehab.com is here to help you find the help you need with your particular situation. If you want to make this year the year you get the help you need to live a normal life again, start with a little help from us at TimeForRehab.com. That's TimeForRehab.com.
Now your scoop of the day brought to you by FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. I only have a few things here, so we have a little bit of time to talk about these here. First one is Twitter critics, which we're going to come back to that in a moment. Twitter critics are accusing Adele of looking too skinny in her recent photos with Harry
good
Styles.
Lord.
Okay, first of all, what is a Twitter critic? It's just anybody on
Just
Twitter.
a random person on Twitter.
And here's the thing. Most of these Twitter critics are people that you don't know who they are. But you know who
Here's
Adele
the thing,
is.
though,
Leave her
with
alone,
her,
man.
She's too fat.
Yeah.
Now she's too thin.
Yeah.
What's she supposed to do? This poor
Nothing.
lady.
Here's the thing. Leave her alone. Adele, you are beautiful no matter what your weight. I don't think that it matters to her probably at all what Twitter critics think. But anybody who
you know
does...
what? I'm sure it's hurtful.
Yeah, anybody who does post something online and have people go, wow, you look like you put on a few pounds, or you look like you're too skinny now, just keep in mind, they got nothing better to do than comment on what you look like, so you already win. So I just think people need to take a step back and realize nobody cares. Nobody cares what Twitter critics think. You probably don't care what I think either, and if you do, you got problems. Don't care what I think, because what I think doesn't matter. All right, moving back to this. Hollywood continues to reel from Ricky Gervais's scathing monologue at the Golden Globes on Monday. Now, we read a story ahead of time where he was saying he doesn't want to host this anymore. He's hosted, and he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I really, truly think a lot of that was just his way of going, they're never going to ask me back.
I think he was just
ever.
He's so sick of listening to them go on and on and on. And he knows darn well they're not in any way aware of what the average American lives like. So don't be feeding them full of your BS.
Yeah. So I thought it was actually pretty funny. And I will go on record and say, and I think I've said before, I've never been a big fan of Ricky Gervais. I actually heard somebody refer to him. They said, I can never know how to say his name, so I just remember it rhymes with Jerkface. Ricky Jerkface. And I'm like, oh, well, that's one way to remember it. But he always seemed to me that he was not a nice person. You know, he doesn't seem to be the kind of person who you'd want to just hang out with.
Right.
But after what just happened, everybody on the internet saying,
yeah,
I kind
there's
of
a
want to
lot
hang
of
out with him
people who
now.
are much more, they're liking him a whole lot better now.
60 Minutes shared some photos earlier this week from inside the cell where, air quotes, where Jeffrey Epstein hung himself. They showed some photos from inside the cell. I don't know exactly what's going on there, but I've got a link to the story. It's in the show notes if you want to read all about it. And then one final story here. A-Rod, also known as Alex Rodriguez, shared a note of encouragement to J-Lo, also known as Jennifer Lopez. He did this on Instagram following her loss at the Golden Globes. You don't need to post that on. You guys aren't they married, or they're just dating?
They're married. They're either engaged or married. I'm not sure if they've had the wedding yet. But
hopefully, he's.
I just think he wants the world to know he's supporting his.
Make sure you give her a note of encouragement in person, because like if Heidi goes through a bad day, I'm not going to just post on Facebook. Hey, sorry to hear you're struggling with a jerk you work with. Oh wait, that's me. She's my wife, and we work together. See how fun that is? Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday.
Student loan debt is out of control for many people. Are you one of them? The average graduate walks away with anywhere from $25,000 to $40,000 in student loans. Believe it or not, 2% even manage to owe over $100,000 by the time they graduate. If you have several different student loans, let us consolidate them into one loan and one payment at singlestudentloan.com. If you have only one student loan, we may be able to offer you a better rate to help you get that loan paid off sooner at singlestudentloan.com. That's singlestudentloan.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Today we have Will Vought from the marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Will, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Hi, John. Hi, Heidi. It is an absolute pleasure to be here.
The third season of the marvelous Mrs. Maisel is out, and if people haven't seen the first two seasons, they could binge watch those to get caught up, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they can call in sick from work, and they can binge the entire thing from season 1, which I'm not in, and then season 2, also not in that, and then season 3, which is then when you get to see me as Major Buck Brillstein, and then I'm sitting here, and boy, oh boy, I mean, last season they had 20 Emmy nominations, and there's already 2 Golden Globe nominations, one for Best Comedy, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and Rachel nominated again for Best Actress. To your point, it seems like people like the show.
They absolutely do. Now, you've had a chance to be a part of some other great projects, but what was your first big project, Will?
I'm thinking television. I was thinking NBC Lipstick Jungle, which was a show that Candace Bushnell did, who did Sex and the City. But the big one, I think, was Revolutionary Road. It was a film with Leonardo DiCaprio. I had a very small role in it. Sam Mendes directed. He was married to, at the time, Kate Winslet. Not a happy movie, if you think about it. I remember seeing the screening at Paramount going, whoa, this is a great film, but, you know, it's like you see it once and you're like, got it. I went on to do other small roles in The Good Shepherd, which was Robert De Niro's directorial debut, and then episodic television, Lipstick Jungle. I did a pilot for NBC called Love Bites. You're like, what? Who? The Bites? Who's that? And then the critically acclaimed Good Wife. I was on that series on CBS, and I got to work with the enormously talented and very generous Juliana Margulies, speaking the words of Bob and Michelle King. Bones on Fox, Wilfred on FX, created by David Zuckerman, who also did The Family Guy and co-created The American Dad. What else? Jiminy Christmas. Oh, The Good Fight on CBS All Access. They just brought me back for that. Thank you very much. And now we're on to The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. And in between, I wrote for The Late Show on CBS. I opened nationally. Every time Wayne Brady, extends an invitation. I was just with him a couple of weeks ago at the Hard Rock Casino in Atlantic City. So it's definitely a cacophony of chaos.
Will, you are a busy dude. Now, let's get back to The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. What can we expect for Season 3?
Well, they can expect for it to start off right where Season 2 left.
Nice.
So if you're thinking, is she going to go with Joel? Is she going to get back with her husband? Or is she going to go with Zachary Levi? Those questions may be answered in Season 3. And, she got a gig. In Season 2, she got a real gig. You've got Midge Maisel, comedian in the 50s, 1959. We're on the cusp of a new decade, and she's now opening. She's a national opener for Shy Baldwin, this huge singer, very popular, in this world, and she's on tour. So Season 3 is Midge Maisel on tour and everything that would go along with that. Meanwhile, her family and her children, are still back in New York, doing their thing while she's traveling the country, kind of getting her legs and experiencing what life on tour is like, with her manager, Susie, played by Alex Borstein, and then myself, Major Buck Brillstein. I'm the host of the USO tour. The first show that she does, it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible, John, because we had 1,000 background actors.
Oh, wow.
1,000. They took this hangar on location, turned it into 1959. You've got over 1,000 background actors. You've got, 47 tap dancers on stage, crane cameras. I mean, it was like we were shooting Star Wars, whatever that's like. And, I remember at one point I was like, this looks expensive. Like, if you guys run out of money, do you just text Jeff Bezos directly and ask him to prime over a bag of cash? How does that work? And just so theatrical, out of the mind and imagination of a creative genius.
Well, it sounds like you guys had a lot of fun doing this, too.
I did have a lot of fun. I mean, you get nervous. There's a lot of pressure. I mean, they've done 20 episodes of this thing. They know they know the pace, they know the scene, and then it's like you kind of like show up, get out of the cab, and you're like, what's going on?
Thank you again for taking the time to chat with us about the program today, sir.
John, Heidi, it's my pleasure. You can follow me at Will Vote on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, VOUGHT. Thank you for the time.
Absolutely. We're going to throw a link to all of that information in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Want to make your sweetheart smile next month for Valentine's Day? Find some fun, matching shirts at funkymonkeyshirts.com. We have a whole collection of fun shirts for you lovebirds.
My wife rocks.
My man rocks.
We also have many silly shirts that will make you smile any day of the year.
My ex-wife was a trophy wife.
Participation trophy.
Find something fun for a loved one, friend, or for yourself at funkymonkeyshirts.com. That's funkymonkeyshirts.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Kleenex tissues. We actually have... right here. I got one right here. Kleenex tissues were originally used as filters in gas masks. They were developed as a little crepe paper thing that was used to stick inside the gas mask filter. The actual Kleenex product we know of today evolved from that by accident because they had them there and they're like, I could use this to wipe my nose.
Okay.
There you go.
Nice.
It's today's fun fact with props.
When was the last time you got a new credit card? If you have a card that's been in your purse or wallet for a long time, you should check and see if you're getting the best rates. You may find a better credit card that will give you the points you want or cashback options you don't get right now. At bettercreditcards.com, you see all the major credit card companies and their best offers. Let them compete to earn your business. And if the one you have right now is better, keep it. Find a card that's a better fit for you at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, news headlines from somewhere in this world. Dateline Japan. A Japanese sushi magnate spent $1.8 million on a giant piece of tuna. Wow.
Wow.
So, big fan of...
how big was
I
the...
don't
Hope it
know.
was a really big piece of tuna.
How big a piece would it have to be for that to make sense?
I know.
It's like, well...
It'd have to be pretty big.
It's bigger than my car. That was one big tuna. I don't know how big it is. I have a link here, and if I had a little more time, I'd click on it, but I don't. You certainly can if you care. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
It's a new year. Have you made a resolution to quit drinking or to finally get away from drugs for good? These are both habits that are hard to kick, but you can do it. We want to help you. TimeForRehab.com is here to help you find the help you need with your particular situation. If you want to make this year the year you get the help you need to live a normal life again, start with a little help from us at TimeForRehab.com. That's TimeForRehab.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Police in Florida arrived to a home to investigate after reports of a woman screaming, only to find out it wasn't a woman at all. We mentioned this yesterday.
This is the cutest.
It was the noise of a parrot. The silly moment happened outside a couple's home. Husband was fixing his wife's car just before New Year's Eve. Home security footage shows the husband calmly shifting through his toolbox as Rambo moans, "Help! Let me out!" The unidentified man was changing the brakes on his wife's car, and he had 40-year-old parrot Rambo outside on a perch where he likes to just sit and talk to the guy. 2 minutes later, deputies show up, making the man jump in surprise. He turned around to find a trio. A couple of deputies there. It said somebody had called after they heard a woman shouting for help. It turns out it was Rambo, the bird. They heard the bird screaming for help.
That is so funny.
The bird had a good laugh, too, so... It was hilarious. This has been some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
John and Heidi.
Now, your moment of duh brought to you by SingleStudentLoan.com. Police in Florida say no one was injured, thank goodness, when a driver accidentally backed their car into a hotel swimming pool. How in the world do you do that? West Palm Beach Police Department shared photos on Facebook showing a car submerged in a pool at the Holiday Inn Express. Police say the driver, an adult, accidentally reversed into the pool from the hotel's parking lot. This happened on Friday.
Yikes.
The driver, so it had been last Friday apparently. The driver and the passenger were able to get out of the vehicle safely and were not injured. So, have you ever seen anything like that where somebody hit the gas instead of the brake or whatever? What did you see them do?
Through a big plate glass window at a dealership.
At a car dealership?
Yep.
Funny thing is, I had the exact same experience at a completely different dealership in a completely different state. I wasn't driving, but I saw a person
I wasn't
do that.
driving, yeah.
So we each saw that happen at a car dealership.
Yeah.
But then again, there's a lot of cars at car dealerships. This has been today's Moment of Duh.
When was the last time you got a new credit card? If you have a card that's been in your purse or wallet for a long time, you should check and see if you're getting the best rates. You may find a better credit card that will give you the points you want or cashback options you don't get right now. At bettercreditcards.com, you see all the major credit card companies and their best offers. Let them compete to earn your business. And if the one you have right now is better, keep it. Find a card that's a better fit for you at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, fake news or Florida? It's the time of the program where I read a little headline and Heidi has to tell me, is this a true story from the great state of Florida, or is it made up just to trick her and amuse us? Are you ready for this, Heidi?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Fake news or Florida? A Jacksonville woman was arrested for shooting at the home of a customer who gave her a bad review on her hair salon. Fake news or Florida?
I'm going to say fake news.
That is fake news. Thank goodness. Boy, that would be bad.
Yeah.
I do remember hearing about somebody who got a bad review, and I don't think they shot at them, but they did, hurt them somehow.
Right.
So this would be believable, but thank goodness
believable.
It is fake news. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of The John and Heidi Show is brought to you by The John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying The John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of bettercreditcards.com. And, there's some feel-good stories and there's some, really cool stories. I think this is a really cool and feel-good story. So here's the headline. Uber driver earns college degree after passenger pays off her debt. How cool is that? An Uber driver, one step closer to achieving her dream of becoming a lawyer thanks to a passenger who paid off all of her college debt. LaTanya Young picked up Kevin Esch outside of the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. During the ride, they had a chance to chat a little bit. Young, a hairstylist by day and an Uber driver by night, told Esch that when she was 16, she dropped out of high school to raise a child. And more recently, she dropped out of college to pay off a balance that she couldn't afford to pay. She says, every time I'd get ready to pay my money, my kids needed something. She said, okay, well, I guess I'll just wait. A few days later, she got a phone call from the school. They said, hey, you can come register for classes. Somebody's paid your tuition. And she thought, what in the world? She found out who it was. The two have kept in touch. Esch attended her graduation in December. She says that was amazing to be there and to see the smile on her face and to know that she did it. I know she's going to go places much further than that now. So that's really cool.
That is so cool.
And there's a photo here of the two of them. And they met in a car ride. And clearly, she made a good impression on this gentleman.
Absolutely.
And I think it's really neat that he was in, first of all, even listening to what she was saying, because there are sometimes people are talking in the back, just on their phone, doing whatever. But in addition to listening, he also said, you know what, I could probably help with that. So I don't know how much that costs to do that, but boy, I'm thankful that he was able to do it. And wow, it's really just a neat story, isn't it?
It is. There's some good people out there still.
Absolutely. I've got a link to that story. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.